'Tis a quick turnaround for two teams, the best of frenemies in the AFC East, coming off of their respectively biggest wins of the season. The New England Patriots on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Jets, well, they finally won a game. They beat the Browns at home. But hey, this is big news for a team that basically dismantled all of their significant parts for, stop me if you've heard this before, the latest of many rebuilds. So if we're going to be talking Jets at Patriots with the Nor'easter rivalry uniforms on Amazon Prime Videos, Thursday Night Football, there's only one person to call it, the GOAT of Jets fandom, the great Will Pa 11. Will Parkinson from Turn On the Jets joins us for the latest 6 rings and football things behind enemy lines. Here we go.
Hey, whatever it takes, man. It's all about winning, all right? Winning on 3. 1, 2, 3, win!
Celebrating the heroes of Foxborough's past.
And with a good block. Look at Grover. All the way. Watch the block of number 73, John Hanna.
The champions of the dynastic era.
Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
The Patriots of tomorrow.
We're going to remove entitlement from our football team. We're going to earn the right to be here every single day.
And the fans whose faith never wavers. This is 6 Rings and Football Things.
I think they went to the offseason and, man, they went in and got a lot of guys that can help them be successful. Obviously, Williams, the D tackle that was in Philly, when he got Carlton Gray, I got it. I'm very familiar with. And they brought a lot of those guys. I mean, Mac Hollins, this is a guy that I just started looking at today, the toughness he brings at the receiver spot and his ability to make these big plays. And, man, the quarterback is playing at a very, very high level, and I think they're creating more explosive plays than any team in the league this year. So you have a combination of that, and I think Vrabel has done a really good job of getting that team to buy into what he's trying to do. So absolutely, you can make a huge change within a year, and I think he's done a good job of that along with the players that he's gotten.
I have always said that if I were trapped in some sort of apocalyptic situation with one NFL fan base, the fans I would want to be trapped with would be Jets fans, because they are survivors. They are the toughest of all tough. They are the most resilient. They know how to handle the shit better than anyone else does. And the leader of that troop is my guy from Turn On the Jets. And of course, the All 32 podcast with friend of the pod, Mike Giardi, Mr. Will Parkinson in the house. And Will, I want to ask you first, right from the jump, guy.
Yeah.
A, do you need as I always do, do you need a hug?
No, probably a drink more than a hug.
Okay. All right. We could, so maybe we'll need a hug after the second drink. But more importantly, do you buy into this idea, basically kind of like inspired by the Patriots? Like the Pats were 8-9, and then 4-13, and then 4-13, and they were flirting with Jets fandom, if you will. Like they were getting a little Jetsy, and it looked dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden, Belichick lost his way. He started dating a 19-year-old. He had a child bride. They brought in Mayo. Mayo was like, I have no idea what I'm doing, but let's just see how this goes. And then all of a sudden, within 1 year, a good draft, a kick-ass free agent class like your rookie coach Aaron Glenn was talking about.
Yeah.
You find and most importantly, you find your dude at quarterback. They've turned it around and gone from pretender to contender like that. Does what the Patriots are going through right now give you, Will Parkinson, and Jets fans hope that maybe, just maybe, the same could be true for you?
Yes and no. The Patriots have done this before, so they immediately they had a couple years there of like QB play was a little off, but for a better part of the last 25 years, 30 years, the quarterback play, even though the Patriots weren't that good, Drew Bledsoe was good. So, I think the reason for, if you're a Jets fan, to hope is like, it kind of reminds you a little bit, and this is being very optimistic, by the way, just as a heads up. 98 or 97 Parcells gets here. They're an abject disaster. He jettisons quite a few guys. They obviously, take Keyshawn number 1 overall in 96, and then 97 they trade back. They accumulate a bunch of picks. 98 they trade back again, accumulate a bunch more picks. And then in 2000, when they started to be really good, the Jets, people forget, were really good and frankly owned the Patriots for like a better part of a decade. And then obviously the Mo Lewis and, whatever. We obviously know that part of the story. Everyone just thinks back to that. Like the Jets did win that game and went to the playoffs, I think 6 of the 11 years and 3 times. The reason I point to this is the Jets traded Keyshawn Johnson in 2000 for 2 first-round picks. In that draft class, they had the 4 first-rounders with Parcells, moving upstairs as the GM. They bring in Sean Ellis, who was, is a borderline Ring of Honor guy that was here for a decade and won it. It's the most Jets playoff wins, by the way, in team history. As my dog mutilates my arm. They bring in John Abraham, who was an all-pro year. They trade him for Nick Mangold, and Nick Mangold, obviously, rest in peace, Nick Mangold, was a decade-long Jet Ring of Honor guy. They also brought Chad Pennington, who was like, the point I bring this up is that's what your reason for hope is. Like Glenn was here when they did this, 25 years ago, and they built sustained success for a decade by getting rid of some bigger name players at the end of their career or guys in their prime. Keyshawn won a Super Bowl the next, 2 years later with the Bucs.
With the Bucs, yeah.
But that didn't sustain. And then for the Jets, again, Abraham turned into Mangold, and like that was a 15-year run of like awesome players from that one Keyshawn, pick. So there's optimism right now in the fan base for most. Some people have been out on Glenn before he got hired. It's the reality of it. There's a lot of factors in it.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive coach, first-time head coach. I think there's a certain part of the fan base that, I would say use some other reasons to not like Aaron Glenn that are pretty
product of this, but also maybe product of the Detroit system. Maybe, it's more Dan Campbell or Ben Johnson than Glenn. Blah, blah.
Like if you look, Glenn feels like he's starting at least the last 3 weeks to turn it around, right? Guys learn on the job. Like the first couple of weeks, everyone's going to look like crap.
Yeah.
Ben Johnson seems to be pretty good. Dan Campbell's pretty good. Now he's calling the plays. He's putting up incredible EPA numbers. He hung a 50 spot on Washington last week calling plays. So maybe that's just a good system. Maybe it's like the anti-Belichick thing where all the assistants kind of stink. This might be like maybe the assistants are actually good and that staff was just really good and takes a little bit of time. So we'll see. But yeah, there's reason for hope for the Jets. Long story short, it's just the current situation is they have the worst quarterback in the league.
Yep.
I think I've been on your pod for the last 5 years and said the same thing pretty much. They have a horrible quarterback play.
Actually, the funny thing is, folks, this isn't a live pod right now. We actually just used AI to vulture.
Yeah, we just vultured in the 2022 Jets with a worse defense. No,
yeah,
like
the point though, Will, like when you say like the first couple games, obviously you're going to look like crap. Patriots' first 3 games of the year this year,
they look like crap.
Yeah, they look like ass. Like the game against the Raiders was an abysmal watch.
Looking back, that's such a bad loss at home.
Oh, it's such a bad loss. Like their 2 losses on the season are both bad. And don't forget the first win of the season for Vrabel and May under Vrabel, which actually was only Drake May's second win as a pro. And now it seems like he just wakes up and rolls into the stadium and picks up a dub. They beat the Dolphins 33-27 in a great back and forth affair. And that was one Devon Achane misstep away from the Dolphins winning 34-33. So they looked like crap the first couple of weeks. They didn't have it together. Then they finally, 6 turnovers against the Steelers. Then they got things going. And now the system of Vrabel, the coach QB combo is working. Drake May has elevated to everyone, the PFF, NFL, EPA wonderkind of football now. Like he's not just Josh Allen off brand. He's like he's at Josh Allen levels. He's the DraftKings and FanDuel front runner right now for MVP. So it makes you wonder, like, what do you think is going to be more important to the inevitable Jets turnaround? Because they were good for a long time. Everybody forgets. And it feels like with one mighty miscue on a Thanksgiving night 13, 14 years ago, like all the spirit and optimism of the Jets was lost and returned for a touchdown by Steve Gregory. Of course, I referenced the butt fumble. That's the one time I'll mention everybody. Will allows one mention per pod. But what do you think's more important for your turnaround? Getting the quarterback or a coach that's able to implement system? Or do you really think you need both?
I think you need both. I think you need both for sustained success. I think you can get away with one or the other not being good enough long term, like in a short window. I think you've seen that with the Bengals where, I think Zach Taylor is a good designer of plays and can do a good job on offense, putting together an air attack, but like not a good enough head coach where, obviously when they've, the things align where Burrow is just a superstar that, 2021, I believe season, things work, right? Or, you look at Pittsburgh where you feel like you have the coach, even though Tomlin's very frustrating at times where like he's just so conservative, with fourth downs and different things like that. But like they haven't had the quarterback, but they've been able to have sustained success. Like I think building a culture, having a coach that can kind of have everything in place, generally speaking, can control everything, even really outside of the quarterback play. I think you've seen that. Even McDermott in Buffalo, like they won with Tyrod, they've won with Josh Allen. Like McDermott is a really good coach. I know, like maybe not in the playoffs, and we can have that debate and different things like that. Vrabel, even in Tennessee, right? Like didn't have.
He won with freaking Tannehill.
But like Tannehill had some bright moments, some not so bright moments. But they felt like the culture and the program was in place. At the end of the day, you do need the quarterback in this league. I think from the Jets' perspective, the last 7-8 weeks, it's a lot, and including a couple previous weeks, it really was about finding out, like, do you have the right staff? Because if you have the right staff, there is, as much as it's hard, and it's not going to look like this tomorrow. So I'm just warning Patriots fans, like, you're going to be watching Justin Fields play, and there's going to be no Garrett Wilson, and it's going to be a mess. That said, like Garrett, Brees, Mason Taylor, this offensive line, plus probably 1 or 2 draft picks, plus maybe AD Mitchell, for young quarterbacks, actually a pretty advantageous situation.
So now you got to find your exactly. There are the pillars there. So what is and like this is not so much a matchup specific podcast, because we're not going to bother talking about a Thursday night game on a short turnaround with a ravaged Jets roster, Pats at mostly full strength, 12-point favorites. Like, I think it's going to be like most Thursday night games, just to get the perfunctory preview portion out. It'll be slow and sloppy early. Hell, the Jets may even get, because the Patriots always allow the other team to score first. It could be 3 or 7-0 on the board, and you'll have Herb Street and the ghost of Al Michaels going like, whoa, what's going on here? Reversal of fortune, upset alert, everybody. And then eventually things will come into form.
Is that even enough energy? Does Al even have that in his bag anymore? I mean, it's sometimes, I know this is totally not to do with this, this matchup or either team. Watching Rodgers, and I feel like we watched this with Brees the last year, where it's really sucked. Even Tom, to an extent, I know he was better than those guys, obviously, and Peyton. It just feels like when people start talking about retirement, you should probably just retire. I understand why Al's still doing it. I think anybody listening here would do a lot of stuff for $20 million a year, whatever it is. Like, I am by no means judging him. I mean, I would do horrible things, but it just sucks because he is one of the 4 or 5 best broadcasters of any sport we've ever seen
all time. Good. He's an absolute goat.
He might be one. Like, there's an argument to be made. He's that iconic. But man, like, even go back and listen. What popped up in my feed the other day? You'll appreciate this. Rams Bucks from 2002 or 2003, and then Bucks Colts, and I think it was 03 or 04, the year after they won the Super Bowl, the infamous Peyton comeback in the second half.
Yeah.
Michaels and Madden are just unbelievable. Michael's energy, he is like, and then I'm like, I listen to him, and it's like these big games, Amazon dubs out the crowd noise, which I hate.
Why does Amazon do that? Like, you can't get into it. They put like a filter on it.
One of the coolest broadcasts ever is Patriots Ravens, the AFC title game, and I don't remember what year that was, like
2011.
2011. The crowd's like as loud as it's ever been in Foxborough. Like the TV's shaking because of how loud it is.
And we want to feel like we're there. I want the din of. I want to hear accidental swears. I want to feel like I'm a part of the whole thing. I have always thought
I don't need John Stoltz and Al Michaels falling asleep on me during these games, like in different sports. Like, it's not fun. Right. It's not fun. That's not why you're there.
No, you're right. And like now when you watch one of these games, Will, like it'll probably become kind of snoozy in the second half.
Yep.
Inevitably, and then Al Michaels will be propped up by 3 PAs and whatever Herb Street stories.
I love Herb Street during college football. I just think they've put him in a bad spot where he's so overworked now that it's like you don't get the A game out of Kirk.
Correct. Anymore. And then and it's funny because even though Chris Fowler's overworked, he gets to call fun games as the alternate Monday Night Football guy.
Unbelievable.
He shows up and he brings his A game to ESPN for those of us who don't have YouTube TV and can actually effing see it. And he gets Orlovsky and Louis Riddick, and they have great perspective. Whereas like Herb Street's overworked, and he's dealing with snoozy Al, and it just doesn't work. But then contrast that to the Monday Night Football broadcast where Aikman and Buck are having a blast and they have great chemistry. And then also, like, I think the current broadcast goat, Tirico and Collinsworth, crush it on Sunday Night Football. Like,
yeah, they're really
and
good.
so these are all things that are playing against the favor of the broadcast on Thursday night.
I think this game is going to be. There's three ways this game plays out. I was texting you a little bit about this before.
Right.
There's the one obvious one, which is I think the most realistic, and I think if you're a Pats fan, you're would be quite happy if this occurs. This ends 34-10 or 34-13. It's probably like 20-3 late in the third quarter. And Vrabel's like, I kind of hate the Jets. It's a division opponent. I have no problem like kind of putting a little bit of belt to ass here. And I'm happy to try to, run it up a little bit and make a statement. And I wouldn't blame him a single. At heart, he played for Belichick. As you know this as well as anybody, any guy that played under Belichick at the Jets, for whatever reason, and I still think it's absolute horse bleep that like Bill has made an entire career vengeance of like, oh, I don't like the owner of the Jets. Like, okay, dude, enough. Like the
Belichick, they wanted to pay you millions of dollars to coach the team, and you got some hair across your ass, and you have held this vendetta from the cocktail napkin with I resign as HC of the.
Thought you blatantly cheating, and you blackballed him from the league. But again, that's
and Will, we're not even mentioning the fact that last year, in a not so clandestine manner, before Billy's first words were "beat Duke" and the whole dog and pony show that's gone on at Chapel Bill. I think he had Lombardi or some of his representatives reach out to the Jets, and even the Jets.
Good, man.
Yeah, no, we're tired of you trolling us for decades,
you
bro.
Made us all our lives a living hell for 25 years. The reason I say that is like, there's that 34-10. It's ugly, but it's like it's a slow, painful death for a Jets fan. In some ways, for Patriots fans, it's like kind of a snooze fest, fun 34-10 win, get out of Dodge, and the whole.
Right.
There's the second most likely, which is this ends 23-10 or 23-13. It's kind of close-ish throughout the whole game. It's a little bit of an ugly game. Like Patriots play their C game. The Jets are playing well enough to stay in it. It's just like that ugly, sloppy. If the Jets score here and recover the onside kick and throw a Hail Mary, they could, tie the game type of situation.
Right. Because is this their last significant game of the season? Kind of in a lot of ways, like no more primetime focus.
Yeah, there's no more. There's only primetime game left. They have 4 games that I think no one will pay attention to, and they have 4 games that people will watch because of who they're playing. They got New England twice. They're at Buffalo week 18, which likely won't matter, but it might because the way the Patriots are playing, there's a chance Buffalo needs that game to get in the playoffs at all. And the way the Bills are playing,
Buffalo's hit the skids right now, man.
Yeah, they're just not. Something's off. And then they play Baltimore next week. That game is going to be disgusting. I already know it. Like the Ravens and Patriots are both terrible matchups for the Jets the way they're constructed.
Right.
The reason I bring this up is there's the third, which is extremely unlikely to happen. I would say the 2% chance this happens. Patriots are sleepwalking off of an extremely impressive win on Sunday. Mm-hmm. Drake May has one of those games where like the kind of playing with fire doesn't go well, and whatever, the Jets catch one and they force a fumble the way Atlanta did, and maybe it leads to 10 easy points or something like that. They give up a big play on special teams, and it's like, how is this game 17-16 in the fourth quarter? Like, what's going on here? And either the Patriots eke out a win or like the Jets have this miraculous win. I don't think that's going to happen, but that has to be at least a little bit of the possibility. Is a lot of these guys are new. They haven't really had any type of – we talked about the first 3 weeks. Once you start to get rolling, they haven't seen the Atlanta game, I guess you could say they were lucky to win because the Falcons don't have a kicker. But point being, Glenn didn't take the Patriots interview. He played in the AFC East the same way Vrabel did when, this rivalry was really good.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe there's a chance it's a good game. I just have a hard time finding how that happens.
Yeah, and for the Jets, obviously you talk about like Breece Hall is hanging on. You don't even know if he's going to want to resign. He'd mentioned in trade rumors. Garrett Wilson's injured. You trade away 2 of your pillars, the guys that you were hoping you would base this entire rebuild around, with Sauce Gardner for 2 picks and Adonai Mitchell. Hopefully he can get maybe a guy like Aaron Glenn can teach him how to be an adult and get his head screwed on straight, because he's an off-field pain in the ass, but he's got significant on-field talent. Quinnen Williams, who I thought they would never move on from, because it like to find your your Philadelphia lineman, your Milton Williams, like these guys, they don't grow on trees.
No.
And when you find one, like to me, that's the centerpiece of a defense, and they're all gone. So you've got 10,000 picks. Hopefully you can find a corner, you find a defensive guy, but also what's happened for the Patriots in the last like 2 weeks, with the emergence and breakthrough respectively of Kyle Williams, who had a 72-yarder to the house Sunday, third round draft pick wide receiver. Looks like maybe they finally hit on a receiver. That's bad news for people. Diggs and Mac Hollins are playing tough as nails. And then Travion Henderson turning into a guy. Like, I was so hype on him coming out of the draft. There was a tweet that went viral the other day. Polymarket Football, who's usually pretty on with all of their stuff, they tweeted out, according to sources, Mike Vrabel is expected to feed Travion Henderson, quote, a big load Thursday night. To which everyone was like, "I'm sorry, he's gonna be."
He's gonna what? Excuse me, he's gonna what?
Excuse me, what now? You guys, there is an edit function that Elon Musk has put on the X platform now.
Could have been phrased a bit better.
But more importantly, like now, as the league tries to adjust to the Pats, now they've had new playmakers emerge. So it's like, oh, it's not all Ramondre. Oh, it's not all Diggs. Oh, it's not all Hunter Henry. This is what I think you guys hope to see happen over the next 2 years. Do you trust your front office enough to get it done? Because I think if you find a quarterback, great, and that's so difficult. And I think Aaron Glenn can be a good coach as well, but there are just so many layers that you guys need to get through, and you have to have a cornerback's memory about how these multiple myriad of miserable seasons have gone for you.
Yeah, look, I think I'm trying to think of the best way I could the Patriots right now are in a situation where it does feel like anybody could beat you any given Sunday in terms of, it's Mac Hollins one day, it's Stephon Diggs one day, it's Kyle Williams, as you mentioned, it's Henderson, it's Ramondre, it's Hunter Henry, like it's just Drake on his own. It's the defense causing turnovers. It's just being out Vrabel out coaching you. Like, did I think going into the year, I thought they were more of an 8 or 9 win team? Like, I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't think. I thought they were an 8 or 9 win team. I thought Drake would be much better. I wasn't convinced he was going to be like. I don't think he was going to be an MVP candidate year one. And then
because it is technically kind of year 1.5-ish for him, because he started like 10 games last year, but it was such a mess. That was like it was an extended preseason. Like this is his rookie year plus in a lot of ways.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. Like I thought they'd be much better. I didn't think they'd be like the best team in the AFC and the odds-on favorite. I guess for me, I think the Patriots are an example, of like what the Jets, I guess, in a lot of ways are going to try to aspire to do. I think for me, I'm trying to think the right way I could phrase this. Like the Patriots to me still feel like they're a guy short of being able to go into Kansas City right now. And I'd feel great about picking them. But the good news is they also still have a ton of money, and they're going to have a ton of picks, and they're in a spot where they didn't really go in the all in move yet. They're still the AJ Brown thing. I'm sure is going to be all off season. I've already seen the whole Justin Jefferson, thing come up again, where there is the one more move for them. But Diggs has been a great addition. Me and Mike talked about it. We were like, can he be what he was last year? Which everyone was down on. He was really good last year before he got hurt. I don't know why.
Yeah, he was.
The whole thing. He's even been healthier, and it feels like that deal is actually going to be pretty team friendly. I don't know. The Patriots are in a good spot. Again, they're going to have to continue to add. I still feel like it's hard to be it would still be hard for me to pick them in Kansas City, or even, I don't know, to an extent, in Denver. Is Denver a good matchup for them? Not really, just because Denver defense is so good, but they're going to probably win 13 or 14 games, man. I don't. What they split with Baltimore, New England. They split with Baltimore and Buffalo, right? It's probably
I had them at 8 wins as well, Will, and now 13 is the floor. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And 8 wins would have been a huge improvement. Everyone would have been like, "This is awesome."
Yeah, because look, guess what? You pulled out of the dysfunction. You now have a future, and just like you were saying, you hope you find out for the Jets over the next year or two. You got the right coaches, you got the right coordinators, you got the right leadership, you got the right front office, and you got the right quarterback. All of that was proven a couple of weeks ago. So to me, the rest of the season is house money, but expectations are getting so significantly elevated because of how rapidly the Patriots have ascended that it's getting nuts. And people are talking like, oh, I'll see you in Santa Clara in February, bro. Like, guys, don't fire up the duck boats yet. Just be happy you got the right dudes in place to make football fun again in Foxborough. And I think, from one fan of AFC East football and just the NFL in general to another, that's all you could ask or hope for. All right, let's get you out on this. I got Pats 30, Jets 13. I kind of see it starting off kind of slow. It might actually be like 13-10 Pats at the half, and then respectively, with all due deference, they turn on the Jets in the second half, and the Jets kind of just do their thing. So they'll cover. It's not going to be a great watch. It's mostly just get through it. Everybody try to stay healthy. We'll all perform our duties, and then everyone hit the tub and take an extended micro bye going forward. How do you see it, pal?
Yeah, pretty much the same. There's like the 10% chance, I guess, Justin Fields has 4 games a year where he's good. He's used up 2 of those. He has 2 more in the bank, right? The Steelers and Bengals games, he was like, wow, this guy's pretty good at football. And then the other games, it's like he's the worst player I've ever seen. So
he should become but one of these days, maybe Aaron Glenn will be like, bro, stick around. I want you a part of this team because you're a good person. You're a man of faith and you have high character. You're more Taysom Hill than you are Jared Goff to me.
The issue, though, is like Justin doesn't want to get hit anymore. So he's taken a lot of shots in his career. Chicago obviously really like got him good in terms of like, the physicality of football. Kyle Ran always references the Browns-Bears game where he took like 11 sacks and it was just dying on the field. But there is this small chance Justin has one of those games where like he actually is a competent quarterback and he is using his legs. A couple years ago in Chicago, he had that Monday night game against New England in the rain where he was fantastic. It's very likely, though, that's not the case. I saw 31-16.
Oh, that was the Zappy game. Jesus.
Yeah,
I mean, everything went sideways that night.
Yeah. Shout out to Bill Belichick.
Shout out to everybody's bestie.
Although
Jordan, what have you done?
The Giants coach. And
yeah.
But I'm gonna go 34-16. I think it's gonna be one of those games where like at points it's close enough that it's watchable, but it feels like this game's probably much closer when they go up, when they go into MetLife, and the Jets probably kind of have that like, the Patriots can clinch the division today, and there's the whole storyline, and Glenn tried to get them up for that game. I said it a couple times, and I'll keep saying it. Like, is there a path where this is a fun game? There's a path. Because sometimes on Thursday night we get these random games where like Jets are playing really well, the Patriots are sleepwalking, so it's kind of more of an even matchup and whatnot. I just have a hard time, man, seeing like the Patriots take away running backs, and Breece Hall is their offense right now. So like, unless you're going to get 1 or 2 screens that go for a big play, or Arian Smith's going to catch the 1 deep ball he gets to throw in a game, or A.D. Mitchell like puts together 2 drives where it's like, wow, see, look at that. Like, that was pretty cool. I just don't know how they're stopping them and also scoring and then outplaying them on specials. Like, maybe 2 of the 3 happen. I just have a hard time seeing how all 3 happen. And the Patriots are in a spot now, like you mentioned, where I don't know, that like the Bills games, then where they play the Ravens and the Bills, like you probably are picking them in pretty much every game the remainder of the year and feeling pretty good about it. And I don't blame them. The Jets are probably in a path where they're going to finish 5-12, which is right around what their win total was expected. And they're going to go into the draft with 4 top 50 picks and $200 million in cap space and figure it out from there.
And you can't, like, that's what becomes so important is like, just figure out like the rest of the season is like an advanced scouting combine to figure out like, okay, who wants to be part of the solution, not the problem.
Glenn said
26 and 27.
Glenn said it on the, in the locker room on Sunday. He was like, now that we can see who's bought in, it's about who stays in the remainder of the year. And like, part of me kind of loves the fact that Glenn came in. They did this in Detroit. People forget about this. Like, they came in and they traded Matt Stafford. And I know Matt Stafford, but like that was not a popular decision to trade Matt Stafford for Jared Goff coming off pooping his pants in the Super Bowl. And
then look at their 2021 draft.
Amon-Ra and Sewell, right?
Oh my God, they crushed it. And that's how it starts.
And then eventually they traded Laporta. I mean, they traded Hawkinson in the division for multiple twos. They end up with that draft of Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Laporta, and there's somebody else I'm missing there. Brian Branch. It's like,
and then eventually You end the season at 9-8 by beating Rodgers and keeping him out of the playoffs. Maybe that happens for you.
2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, no, but it like you've been around so long, you're in it for that. So like, patience needs to be preached to Jets fandom, and in a strange way, I also kind of want to preach patience to Pats fandom. Like,
it's
guys,
a little scary now. It's like
well ahead of the curve. Like, relax. Like, don't stop making Super Bowl plans. You've got a nice, bright, long future, and it's fun to watch football again. And quite honestly, I hope it's fun to watch football again for you sometime soon because I like it like that.
Yesterday, like, if I told you going into the year they lose in the divisional round in Kansas City 27-20, you would have been like, holy shit, what happened?
Shit. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's
now
amazing.
I almost feel like that's a disappointment based on, like, I think people will be disappointed, which I don't think they should be. They kind of are 2017 Yankees-ish. And I know people on a Red Sox, Patriots pod don't want to hear about the Yankees, but 2016, the Yankees were a joke. They traded everybody. They finished with a respectable, they finished 2 games over 500, so everyone freaked out.
Yeah.
But they traded everybody. They brought up some of the kids at the end of the year. And then 2017 was like, the expectations were, ooh, can you be a sneaky, like, can you be the last wild card team type of situation? And Judge obviously has, gets robbed the MVP, but has this breakout year similar to what Drake May had. A lot of the other young guys play well. And then all of a sudden they're in the ALCS Game 7, and it's like you're disappointed they didn't make the World Series when you're like, dude, we had an 82.5 over under, and we won 98.
You're ahead of expectations. I know. God,
biggest cheaters of the 21st century. Astros, like that almost kind of weirdly feel. I know I like to always make the inter sports comps, but like it almost feels where like the Patriots have been so good that it's almost hard to reel back in the excitement when I don't want people shouldn't. I get it. Like you want to enjoy. You never know, man. Like
right. I know. At the same time, you never know when you might make it back. So make the most of the moment. But their inactivity at the trade deadline should also tell you that they know they're ahead of expectations and delivery. And to just stay the course, see how far this magical ride goes, and then continue to play it slow, steady, and rock solid from there. Folks, give him a follow at WillPaw11. He's my favorite Jets follow. Turn on the Jets for all the latest and greatest in Jets Nation as well. The All 32 podcast with our guy, Mike Giardi, as well. Thanks for some time, my guy. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Best of the rest of the season. And let's do home and away when the Patriots visit the Jetropolitans.
Appreciate always having me. And, hopefully, regardless of what happens, I hope we get an at least exciting game tomorrow night that, it'll be worth the 3.5 hours of Michael's non-vegetable snooze fest.
Exactly. If we get 90 plus minutes of reasonable entertainment, I'll consider it a win. Yeah. All right, folks, there you go. There is your Behind Enemy Lines Jets at Pats preview for Thursday Night Football on Amazon Snooze Prime. We will talk to you soon. We'll be back. I'll be on the post-game show right afterwards on WEEI, so make sure you stay locked in. Until then, and as always, God love Jets